Hello, guys, and welcome back to yet another episode of American Arsenal FC. If this is your first time on the channel, please go down ahead and subscribe down below and give it a thumbs up. If you're a returning visitor, welcome back, and let's get right into it. Today, we will be talking about a couple things, and you can see the timestamps at which they're going to appear right here. They include player wages and player cuts, Dani Ceballos' future, Upamecano and his possible transfer, Aubameyang's possible transfer, and then the replacements that we could possibly get for Aubameyang. So let's dig right into it. So let's get right into it with player wages and cuts. So you may have heard about the possibility of, with the economy going down due to the fact of coronavirus being a major factor in the world right now. A lot of teams are running out of money or not able to afford the entire contracts that players have. The current proposal made by the club to the players is a 12.5% pay cut over the next 12 months, so April 2020 to March 2021. And so this 12.5% pay cuts get taken out of their wage, and if they qualify for the Champions League, they get all the money back as if it was a full contract. And if they qualify for the Europa League, that cut will go down to 7.5%, and they won't get it all back, but they'll get some of the money back. This was the initial offer made by Arsenal, hopefully giving them better incentives, but it appears that that does not seem to be enough for the players. The players are not happy about that. So what's going on instead is, with Bellerin in charge of communicating for the players, they're trying to find a situation that works better. But Arsenal looks like they had a £27.1 million loss last year with the lack of Champions League and only playing in the Europa League. And as the Kroenkes said it, they said, right now we're a Europa League team on a Champions League wage bill, and that's just not good enough to pay the bills. And right now, with the economy downturn, it's looking like it might even be even worse. So we'll see where that leads us. But in the end, there's just going to be more conversations, and hopefully there's a situation. But it looks like there's a little bit of tension in the locker room between the players and the coaches. But it was seen that at Tottenham, many of the board members will be taking pay cuts instead of the players. So we may see something along those lines, because we definitely don't want to get the players upset. So next up, we have Dani Ceballos and his future at Arsenal. So this man came in on loan this summer, and it was just an overall weird situation, a hamstring injury. He started the season okay, but had the hamstring injury. And then more recently, he's been coming on strong and showing that he actually is a player of quality. But that's only been the last couple of weeks. And now with the whole situation where if the season does finish, it will finish in June, July, past the loan date that Dani Ceballos was originally planning on staying. It has been said that Dani Ceballos plans on staying till the end of the Arsenal season, no matter when that ends. But after that, it becomes a toss-up about what's going to happen with Ceballos, because Real Madrid do have a lot of players here and there that they just don't even need to worry about it. They have Odegaard, they have Valverde. They just have a lot of young midfielders and older talented midfielders. So they see Dani Ceballos as surplus. So you could see possibly a bid from Arsenal, but it also appears that Juventus are coming in with a £35 million offer for Ceballos. So that'll be interesting. We'll see where that leads us. But right now, the options left for Ceballos are between Juventus, Arsenal, Valencia, or his boyhood club, Real Betis. But Dani Ceballos seems like a very ambitious man. I could not really imagine him taking a step back and going back to Real Betis. I understand that that's his boyhood club. That seems more of a 30-plus move, but he's still in his young 20s, and I kind of doubt that he'd go for a team, maybe Valencia, but I think he would be more interested in a Juventus or Arsenal possibility. Next up, we have the possible transfer for Dayot Upamecano, and now this is one that we've been looking forward to since last summer when we saw him as an opportunity. But his price was very high, in like the £70 million range. That's just a lot of money for a center back. But now that he has a year left on his contract, and he's clearly stated out loud that he is a one-away center back, he does not want to be at RB Leipzig any longer past this year. It's really created a situation where his value has gone down. But with his value going down, the the possible suitors for him to join a team are also going up. So although Arsenal were the original targets and they seem like the place that Upamecano may end up going, Dayot Upamecano is now being looked at by Bayern Munich, Manchester City, Real Madrid, and Manchester United. And very recently, it looks like Real Madrid and Zidane have made Dayot Upamecano their number one option at center back. And that is definitely a worrying sight to see, because it's very hard for a player to take not take an offer from Los Blancos. It's very hard to see someone take that, because at Real Madrid right now they have two younger center backs in Nacho Fernandez and Eder Militao that are out of favor with Zidane. He just doesn't like them, doesn't like their potential. So he sees Upamecano as a very quality replacement for them. And this does worry me. It makes it seem very difficult when the likes of Bayern Munich, Man City, Real Madrid are looking to get Upamecano. I don't know what Arsenal has that Upamecano doesn't, that those other clubs don't have. So I do struggle to believe that he would be choosing us over them. Something very positive would have to happen, something very positive in the coming days to see him make his way over to the Emirates Stadium, which is definitely unfortunate. Next up, we have Aubameyang and his possible transfer away. Now, this has been getting a lot of talk very recently. So he's obviously there's been talks about him leaving for a club with more likelihood of being in the Champions League and possibilities of winning trophies. And this talk has been around for a while, especially with him only having 1 year left on his contract. And now, more recently, it seems that Real Madrid have inquired about his availability. And not just Real Madrid, but also PSG, Inter, and Barcelona are all looking at him as a very possible option to fill their gaps in their teams. But one of the main factors in where Aubameyang might be going, or if he's going to stay, is the young striker from Inter Milan, Lautaro Martinez. Because if Martinez stays at Inter, then obviously Inter is probably going to pull their interest because they already have the striker they want. But there's a lot of different options for where he may go this summer. He's looking into Real Madrid, he's looking into Barcelona, he's looking into a couple clubs. And so if he makes his way over to Barcelona, Barcelona's interest is obviously going to wane because they just got the striker they wanted. Because Aubameyang seems to be the number 2 option for most of those teams. But the number 1 option is Martinez, and with Martinez being there, there's only one Martinez. And when Martinez makes his decision to leave, stay, go to one of those clubs, those other teams are going to need their backup option. So we'll see where that leads. But if Martinez does make his way to a different team, Inter's definitely going to be looking. And Real Madrid definitely seem like they have a real interest in Aubameyang. But it also seems that Arsenal are not willing to part with Aubameyang that easy. But the issue is with 6 months left on his, with 1 year left on his contract, I don't know that keeping him, if you're receiving large bids, large sums, especially when we're in debt, is exactly the best idea. I love Aubameyang. I know he's quality, but if we're going to receive a large amount of money for him, it may be what's needed to rebuild. And one of the options that seem to come into play is Arsenal were looking to, instead of offering Aubameyang, possibly offering Lacazette. And I'm a big fan of Lacazette, but that could be a very viable option. And I don't know that Real Madrid would be interested in that. But if they are, and if that would possibly go through, we definitely need to find a way to lock down Aubameyang, because we don't want to be giving up our other quality striker and then lose our Aubameyang in 12 months' time. So that would be disappointing. A TV pundit, Paul Merson, he said, if I were Aubameyang's agent, I would be stressing that he's one of the best clubs in the world, a phenomenal football club that has as much chance as anybody, bar Man City and Liverpool winning something. For me, I would stay. So that's Paul Merson's idea. But you really can't see in Aubameyang's head, because although he's club captain, you hear out from him sometimes that he's really wanting to stay. But you just really don't know. You don't know what'll happen. You also see a lot of his siblings, relatives, people around him saying, you should definitely leave. You should go to a bigger club. You're a 30-year-old about to reach the peak of your prime, about to go past the peak of your prime. You should definitely find a club where you can win something. So we'll see where that leads. But if we do lose Aubameyang, then there are some possible replacements. One of those replacements being Luka Jovic from Real Madrid. And Luka Jovic, he was absolute quality when he was over at Frankfurt, but obviously he's had a rough season, rough go of it when he's at Real Madrid. It does seem that Real Madrid are looking at Luka Jovic and saying that they might trust him in the future and they want to see him grow. But I do think it'd be a strange one to see them buy Aubameyang, have Karim Benzema, and also have Luka Jovic on the bench. It just seems like a strange choice on their front. So there's the possibility if we do send Aubameyang their way, there may be Luka Jovic coming on the way back. The other possibility is if we do lose Aubameyang, we still have quite a few numbers and youth in the striker position. We obviously have Lacazette, who's a quality player on his best day, but does have rough patches. But with those rough patches, we have Eddie Nketiah and Gabriel Martinelli to fill the gaps. And then maybe we could take the money that we gained from Aubameyang, put it in a different position, such as center back, such as CDM, where we may be seeing the likes of Granit Xhaka or maybe Lucas Torreira eventually leave if they don't like it there, or find a player that fits more Mikel Arteta's type, such as Thomas Partey. So we'll see where that leads us. And happy hunting for Arsenal. Hopefully all goes well with the contract talks. And anyway, if you guys like this content and want to see more, subscribe down below. And I'll see you guys on Friday.